when both of you are thinking about creating a new opportunity, whether that's internally within your current company or externally in beginning to navigate a search, like what's your approach? Like just from the very beginning, how do you begin to even frame how to think about that?
It's a really big thing to be considering taking that next step. And it's something that, some people, they're on this path and they're like, okay, I see what the next level is. Like, I'm just going to go after that. But really, what's important when you are considering changing things up is to take a step back and get a strong understanding of really what you want and why. And you can walk yourself through some questions that I often coach people on as they're going through this thought exercise. Like what actually gives you energy and what drains you, what makes you feel accomplished or aligns with your personal mission and values. This is something that I went through as I was thinking about my next career move a few years ago. And I worked through that with a life coach, actually, which was very helpful for me. But ultimately, once you understand some of those things, you can then figure out, what's important to me in terms of, my growth, in terms of the mission of my next opportunity or the next company. Maybe look at mission, culture, management, all of those various things, because those things are always going to be really important. You just need to make sure they align with what you need and what you want.
Ali, you looked like you're about to jump in.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So, in my mind, I love the number 3, right? 1 to 3. It gotta be 3. I have these 3 steps. The very first one is actually exactly what Ali mentioned, the why part, and that's the part where, like you're just exploring yourself, things what you want to do. What's your mission? What's your career goals? What type of cultural values are important to you? What's your passion? What's your skill set? And what things you're good at. There's so much analysis to do there, and then that kind of helps you understand like where you are today and where you wanted to get to, and you draw a line and they say this is the path that I'm going to take. Very important. And Ali also mentioned certain exercises. You said, I think, what gives you energy. So in that why category, there's a lot of different activities you can do. One of them I think I learned during one of the SFELC podcasts. You might remember this, Patrick. There's this energy audit.
Yeah. Brad Henriksen, that was great.
Right, it was an awesome one. So there's these, whatever works for you. You can write reports to yourself like every day, or you can just like analyze your calendar, or just go for a walk and take a week off, kind of analyze and write things or reflect so much. You need to better understand yourself, and there is, if you can actually define that one, you kind of like have to wait to get there. And then the second step in my mind, once you draw this line from where you are today and where you want to be, you're making a lot of assumptions. A lot of assumptions about yourself, a lot of assumptions about that role, that thing that you're interested in. In my mind, the second thing is that's very critical to do is to validate these assumptions. It has been very, very useful in my career. That comes in with these informational interviews that you create these like really good set of questions, whatever it is. Like you want to get to the first level of management, managing managers, you want to get into product management, whatever it is. Very thoughtful questions. Figure out these people who actually will role model against. Set up, and you can't believe how many times you reach out to people and they will respond. They say, "Oh, I'll just spend half an hour with you." Just ask great questions, listen, and then just take that feedback and reflect on it. I've done that multiple times in my career. At some point early in my career, I actually considered after my PhD, couple of years in engineering, I considered maybe I should just move into product management. Same model, right? Just figure out the why first and then say, well, here are the questions that I'm interested in getting answered, and talk to 10, 20 people if you can. And I convince myself that is actually a great position to have, but maybe not the best fit for me for where I am at that point in my career.
What has been like your favorite way to like define your assumptions around a specific opportunity? And then do you have like a favorite question that helps you validate those in some of those conversations?
The way that I would start figuring that out is understanding, like, if this was a career move that I like to move into managing engineering organizations, it's a good idea to write down what you think that looks like. And like one aspect you can approach this is like, what does your day look like? How much do you divide your time between, say, coding and managing people? And you can actually convert these. And clearly, you don't want to ask this question directly in the information interview. You want to ask questions that leads the answer, especially questions like how much do you code. It's kind of sometimes hard to answer on the spot. So you want to come up with this question that will kind of get you the answer, so you can actually make your decision to an extent a bit indirectly.
And then Ali, are there specific reflective activities that you found sort of in this sort of same area to help yield or help you identify or clarify what you want next?
Yeah, I think one of my favorite ones is really going through your own personal values, and actually writing those down and understanding why they're your values and how those map to even your own personal goals, and then from there seeing how those might map to a particular opportunity. It could be the company's mission, it could be the role itself, but how do you get what you need, so you can like live your best life in a way, while also doing great work, right? That might actually align with the mission of the company.